I mean, I'm picturing this guy like Phantom of the Opera. Yeah.
No, and then I met him a week later. Had a full face.
Oh, okay.
Man of the year, man of the year, man of the year. Welcome to the #1 friendship podcast in the country as featured on the Today Show.
I'm Aaron Karo.
I'm Matt Ritter.
Matt, since we last recorded, something kind of small happened. You had your first child.
I have a baby boy.
You get a boy. You get a boy.
I get a boy. Welcome to the world, Brenner Ritter. We love the little man.
Congratulations, buddy. Mazel tov.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Life is amazing, and I am on the road to making dad friends and replacing you like I've always wanted.
Oh, wow.
to.
We segued right into the pod.
We not?
Not even just like, how you doing? Hey, lad, just like.
This is my first Father's Day. Wow.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
He didn't get me anything. He showed up. Brenner.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't get me. Jess didn't get me anything either. Well, she made me a baby.
She made you a baby.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
How are you feeling? How was the birth?
You know what? It was eventful.
Yeah.
Like, you want your hospital stay to be uneventful.
Mm-hmm.
It was not that. It was stressful for many reasons. I mean, Jess ended up having to do C-section. The baby had to go to the NICU. Thank God he's totally fine now, but like not even remotely according to the plan.
She was what, 43 weeks pregnant or something?
Yeah, she was way overdue.
I literally never heard of that.
I guess she was in her 42nd week.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. No, somewhere in there. Yeah, she was late. They say it's pretty common for first-time mothers to actually be late.
Because the hospital stay was a bit eventful and you were there sort of longer.
5 days.
I found myself as the like best friend liaison.
Yeah.
Which I really haven't done, I don't think, where our buddies, who was just as very nice of them, were like, I don't want to bother Matt.
Yeah.
Like, you were updating like 2 threads, but it was pretty tight circle.
Well, there was just a lot going on that wasn't great. So I was like, I'm not really focused on chit-chatting.
Yeah, which is
I
rare
love
for
to
you.
chit-chat. Yeah, if I'm not chit-chatting, it's because we have more serious
So people were
things.
reaching out to me, and then I had to use my best judgment of how much information do I give out?
Yeah.
Like, how dilated is she?
I know. It's very personal.
It is very personal.
Yeah, I got a lot of texts, like how many centimeters,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. At least those are texts to you. I'm a third party.
Oh my God. She got to 6 for the record. That was it. She couldn't get past 6.
Oh, I thought you meant she got for 6 for the all-time record.
No.
Okay.
6 centimeters.
What is it supposed to be?
Halfway. 10. You have to be at least 10. I don't know. The whole thing, it feels very haphazard. They're like, first we're going to start you on these pills that'll, hopefully loosen up your cervix, and, we'll do that 4 hours, and then you just wait. And they go, it hasn't worked. We'll try it again. Another 4 hours. It hasn't worked. Try it again. I'm like, are we going to like mix it up? And then like, you just have random shift workers flipping over. So there's like a midwife that comes in, and then a whole new person comes in. And for whatever reason, I don't know if they're short staffed or that's just par for the course. Nobody has any idea what has been previously said.
They don't look at your chart?
I don't know they're like, so you're having twins, right? It's like, no. You're like 12 centimeters dilated. We're good. No. Like everything is wrong. Like every time somebody would come in, they'd be like, so this is for the organ donation. What are we here for? Like, what the hell are you?
You have to advocate for yourself.
Yeah, you really do. No, but the hospital was great. Everybody was great. I will say this: the best friend thing that happened during the ordeal was that our friend Jeff really hooked me up. He let me know that our friend Robin, that he's really close with, is a nurse. She only works 1 day a week at Cedars. Happened to be there the day that we really needed her.
Yeah.
And so we requested her, and she came in and she went way above and beyond. Long story short, we ended up going with the C-section because it was many days of Jess trying and it wasn't working. And she was really having a meltdown, understandably. And just a lot of things didn't go the way we wanted them to go. And we both talked about it, and we're like, listen, if you're going to do the C-section, we now still have our doctor here, and Robin is here, and she's willing to stay later for them to do the C. I'm like, you're going to feel much better knowing you have the A team and like a comforting face in the room for this very stressful thing. So that was huge. So thank you, Robin. And thank you, Jeff, for making that connection.
I mean, it is really interesting because we talk a lot about your friend's role. I don't know how much we've talked about sort of like when your friends have a guy.
Yeah.
Like
a girl here.
A girl.
Yeah.
But you you need you got in an accident. I've got a car guy. You need tickets. Like, talk to my guy.
People didn't even understand that I had a girl. Like, they're like, what do you mean you knew the nurse? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, literally. Like, she's one of our best friends, like really close friend. And like, we're like friends with her, friendly with her. It was like,
Oh, you know her?
yeah, of course.
Oh,
We
okay.
hung out like, multiple times
Okay.
over the years. I hadn't seen her, probably hadn't seen her in a few years. We're
Right.
not like inner circle or anything, but it was
Right.
like, we know each other, we're hugging when we got there.
Yeah.
It was just like, holy shit, we got a guy.
It's a great hookup.
Great hookup
I got a nurse at Cedars.
at Cedars for
Yeah.
the day. And she only works one day a week. Just so happened. The great time. Man.
Isn't she like the head nurse or something?
Yeah, I think she's one of the head ones. But
Yeah.
so she has 3 kids. So she's now
Yeah.
not
Right.
there that frequently. But so
That's
she
great.
really was like giving us extra care because I think they were a little short staffed too. So it just felt like that was like a total sea change. When she showed up, it was like, oh, the cavalry has arrived.
So you just gave birth to your first child. I want to bring it back to me for a second. You obviously had no idea that I was liaising
No.
with everybody. And I was also somewhat, I don't want to say nervous. We talked about it in a previous episode when our buddy Brian gave birth. And I posted on Facebook before they did. Now, this wasn't that situation, but I was like, oh, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Like who they want to know what. But I was kind of like, they're only really good friends who are reaching out.
Yeah.
And I was just like dispensing the information. Then I would say, okay, now you can reach out yourself.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Um,
You were like, here's the line. Now I will usher you in.
yeah.
The door's closed.
Yeah.
I'll let a few of you in.
Right. So I was
You're the doorman for the whole.
Yeah. But it was interesting that it wasn't like you appointed me. It was just assumed, which I was like, proud.
I will say the nicest, sweetest thing was so Aaron hid his gift in the podcast studio, like a little Easter egg. And do we have it in here? Oh my God. So we've got it right here. So
if you're going to our YouTube page, you can see this.
He made a mini trophy that says Brenner Ritter 2023 Baby of the Year, but he hid it in the studio and we weren't supposed to find it until after the birth, right?
Yeah.
So we found it.
I left a note that says, do not open till after birth.
Right. So we found it because we were cleaning out the studio because the nurse was going to be staying here. And so we brought it to the hospital and we did end up opening. I think we ended up opening it before the birth, but it was like while we were waiting for 48 hours for delivery. And Jessie just started bawling when she got it. So it was very, very sweet. And we took pictures dangerously. Like he's like a newborn baby. And I'm like sticking a hard metal object. Like an
Picture's
inch,
great.
like an inch away from his head.
Yeah.
And I kept making Jessie like move her hand out of the way. And like, if he shifted over, like, I'm going to scar this kid with the trophy.
Yeah.
And I brought the trophy to the hospital and they were like, people were losing their shit.
You brought the real trophy.
Oh my God. I'm carrying this thing in the hallways and all the nurses are like, what is this? I gave them the whole spiel. They're like, nobody's ever brought a trophy into the hospital
I love
like
that
before.
Love that.
Yeah. 2 funny things that happen in the hospital. One is they tell you to get some sleep, but for whatever reason, I know everybody's had the same experience. Every hour on the hour, somebody has to come in and fiddle with something in your room for no reason. Like 1 a.m. Yeah, I just wanted to press this random button. 2 a.m. I just wanted to see, were one of those fluorescent lights working? I just want to see if it changed. 3. Did you guys need any stamps? Like 4 o'clock. Hey, we wanted to take your breakfast order. Like 5 a.m. Hey, Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm like, come on.
Where are you sleeping?
She's sleeping in a bed.
Yeah.
The husband gets a chair.
Okay.
Jeff warned me about this. He goes, I'm already praying for your back.
But why do they do that?
They want men to not feel like they're part of
By
it.
the way, also
They want us to get divorced.
Yeah. Also the same-sex partner.
Yeah.
The partner gets the chair.
The partner gets the chair.
But like it's 2023. They have
The partner gets the chair.
Yeah.
And like it leans back, but it's like, come on.
Is it a full lean like a
It's like an almost full lean.
Oh, that's even worse. You
Yeah.
go all the way back like business class.
It's I guess you could say it's a full lean, but it's not flat because it's like a lazy boy. So like just the curvature of it it's just a disaster.
Yeah.
So I did that for 5 nights.
5 nights?
Yeah, I'm in like traction. You know what is traction? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I think that's when your legs are.
Yeah, I need to be in traction now.
Yeah. Oh shit.
It was
5 nights. I didn't
brutal.
realize
I'm like sneaking Jesse's Oxycontin.
Yeah.
You know, because she's on it for the
Yeah.
C-section. I mean, she can't move at all.
Have you tried one?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
But I should.
Yeah.
Should I have the hall pass for
Yeah,
that?
but you have an addictive personality.
Yeah, I'll be munching those things.
You'll be fucking
Munching. They gave her fentanyl too.
Really?
Yeah, and we were like, is this the like fentanyl? And they're like, no, this is not the street fentanyl. This is like the pure shit.
That shit's scary.
Yeah. I was like, give me some. Oh, so this is like the stuff that won't kill you? But gives you the same high? Like, I want me once the Fendi.
That's the kind of thing you kind of forget that like it actually is medicine that some people actually use.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how it was discovered, right? It wasn't like somebody on the street was cutting it up and storing it, and they're like, "Hey, we can also give this to pregnant women. We can also give this to pregnant women to calm them down, to get their cervixes dilated." Right. Oh, the whole thing was, and then the NICU thing was very, very stressful, and a lot of people have had, people texted me afterwards, like I've had my kids in the NICU. It was very nice. All the friends who texted, like I think that's the really nice thing of friendship was when people know you're stressing about something that they've gone through and they just shoot you a nice, like we had a lot of nice notes. Like, I'm here if you need me. This is really stressful. Cause like Jesse didn't get to see Brenner for 24 hours. Wow. Which is like kind of crazy, So she has a C-section. They put him out on the table and his oxygen wasn't, his levels weren't right. And he had water in his lung, which is apparently very common for C-sections. They had to put tubes in. They like whisked him off. And now I'm like,
so did you ever see him? Could you hold him?
I did. No. So I was like, Jesse, what should I do? Like, meanwhile,
wasn't she unconscious?
No.
Wait, what?
She's conscious.
Oh, I didn't know that.
While they are opening her up on the table.
Wait, a C-section, you're conscious?
Conscious, awake, alert. We were playing music. We were playing Paul Simon and singing to each other. Like I just stared her right in the eyes and like we were just like talking to each other so she would not focus on the fact that like she's just splayed out. So anyway, they put the baby on the table behind her. So I was told, do not look at what's going on inside of her. But the baby was on the table by her feet. So then when they were about to whisk him off to the NICU, I turn around and I'm like, Jess, oh God. I looked at
there's no sheet up?
The sheet is up from her neck, so she can't see it. I'm at her feet now. So I am looking back at the inside. Oh God. So I, like, in movies when they show like the gates of hell being opened, that's what like people like, what did it look like? I mean, it looked like I don't even know what I saw. I don't even know what I was looking at. I literally know nothing about anatomy. I was like, I don't even know if these are pieces that should stay in her or that they're taking out of her or that they're putting back in her or like, I just don't know what I saw.
Could you?
I'm sorry. Just don't look.
Can you like ever unsee it?
No, just I'm telling you, gates of hell, like PTSD level. So anyway, so then I was like, baby, what should I do? She's like, go with him. So I ran off with him to the NICU because I did not want to be without him. But
was he crying?
Yeah, he comes out blue and he's crying. But then like they stuck a tube down his throat. So now I was like immediately like I'm freaking out. Go upstairs and then like they're like he's gonna be okay. This is very normal. I'm like, please just talk me through everything that's happening. It's insanely stressful. Like, is my baby going to live? Right. And then Jesse's downstairs and I'm like, she's having a major surgery. So I'm like, I got to go check on my wife. I don't know when to do that. They're like, trust us. He's okay. You can check on her. Yeah. So I like ran down to check on her to make sure she's alive. And like, he's like, this is crazy.
Were you running?
Running down the halls. And they're not on the same floor. Okay. So I'm like scrambling. I'm like,
oh, are you wearing a full like shower cap and shit?
So I have to wear the whole thing because I'm in the surgery. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you can see these. I'm wearing, Karo's going to hate this. No. I'm wearing my slippers. I did this deliberately for you. Wore these slippers all over the hospital.
They're called house slippers. The operative word is house, Matt. You can't wear house slippers to a disgusting hospital.
I know. Should I throw these away after this pod?
Just don't wear them in. By the way, this sweater, I don't wear in the house. This is only for I only leave the house and go to the podcast.
I knew you would hate that. I just walked all over the hospital with these hush puppies.
Oh God. They do look pretty comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, it's really great. So anyways, it was very traumatic, but we're all good now. But it was like, it is nice to have friends text you and be like, this is similar. You're not alone. That's the thing. You don't want to feel like, oh, is something that's happening to me right now in my family, like a very rare situation? Because you just don't know.
I texted you. I said, I think it might have been on the phone. I said, can I come visit? And you were like, no.
Yeah. I was like, absolutely not. Like, I know, because I actually was picturing a much more pleasant. I had this stupid joke to Jess. I was like, we're going to be out in 4 hours.
Oh, God.
So stupid. I'm like, Jesse, have I ever been wrong? Yeah. And then I kept saying it, and then everybody was making fun of me after the doctors were like, oh, how's that 4-hour prediction?
Right.
5 days later.
Yeah. When I visited Jeff in the hospital for both his kids, laid back, they're hanging out.
Oh, you came in like the day after?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different when the kid goes to the NICU. But then I also was like, I didn't want people to be too stressed because once I kind of like deduced that he's going to be okay in my texts, because the pictures had him with the tubes in. Yeah. I was like, trust me, he's going to be okay. I wasn't sure how that was like. Were you guys like, oh shit, what's going on?
I don't think I saw pictures with tubes. Did I? Oh, maybe I did.
Yeah.
I don't think I just thought it was normal stuff.
Yeah. So I looked into the gates.
Should I have posted one of those baby pictures?
Oh my God.
You actually went off social media that's why people were texting me like, Matt hasn't posted, is everything okay?
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't.
Well, this is even before you did the C-section. You were just like,
Well, Jesse was really struggling in the hospital.
yeah.
That's just not fun. So I had this whole plan to make all these dad friends in the hospital.
Yeah.
I actually met a guy who's an actor. He's like pretty well known.
Yeah.
Met him the week before because our wives were both a week late. So I knew he was going to be in the hospital. I had this whole plan to like be buddies with him, like watch the Knicks game on my phone together in the hallway. And then like all went haywire. No friends made.
I mean, it is cool. Like we've been friends since the day we were born, like, for the kids. Yeah.
I'm planning on reaching out to him on Insta DM. Is that aggressive? I don't know him.
Tell me who it is and we can bleep it.
Oh, we'll bleep it?
Yeah.
Do you know who is?
No.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like on a lot of pilots since they're using.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know that guy.
Sure.
And then I had this other guy so our wives actually live on the same street. Lives up the block, just so happened, same birthday.
Yeah.
So these could be the people. I met them at the park the week before, and the husband didn't want to meet me because he had fallen and smashed his face somewhere.
Usually that's like a drunken injury.
Yeah.
And you make something up.
Yeah. I think that's what happened. Because they were also talking about a sports bar they like in the neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
They're like, we should all bring our kids, which I liked.
Yeah.
Well, let's all bring our kids to the sports bar in the neighborhood.
Great. I mean, just don't let Gary go there because obviously he's a drinker.
Right. Yeah. It was a little weird. Like, she said she was trying to get him to come say hi to me in the park and he ran away.
I mean, I'm picturing this guy like Phantom of the Opera. Yeah.
No, then I met him a week later. Had a full face.
Oh, okay. Full face. I love that. So now you're home.
Yeah.
And you're enjoying fatherhood.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy Father's Day.
Well, as we say, my new tagline, I made this up. If you can't make friends, make friends.
Yeah, you have a new best friend. Made
a little friend. Our buddy Brian bought us matching jerseys. So now he's got a little Knicks jersey and Mets jersey. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He told me that was a great gift. He got you every team for every season in the sizes.
I know. So now I'm going to be wearing the exact same gear. I have like a twin.
That's great.
Although he looks just like my wife.
So he's an attractive,
he's much better looking
boy.
than me. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to start making these whole other group of people have been telling me, hey, Karo, just so you know, Matt's going to like.
I know. People have been telling me.
Like he's going to have this new group of friends. He's not going to be around as much. And I'm like, great.
I mean, no matter what, you've trapped me in this studio.
I know. I'll see him when I see him.
Yeah, you'll see him every week. No matter what, you'll see me once a week.
Yeah, but I've also never been the kind of person who's been like, oh, I haven't seen, like, what's up, man?
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you feel objectively that our friends who have had kids already,
yeah,
your relationship has changed with them? Because I think that'll be indicative of how our relationship, you have a roadmap.
I mean, it's definitely a little bit, but I would say like our friends are pretty good about being social even with the kids.
Yeah.
They're not available as much, not around as much.
Yeah.
But I also just like, that's fine.
Like, do you have a whole set of other people?
Yeah, I got plenty of backups.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, they're all moving to Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
The Valley.
I'd never see you again.
Yeah.
No, we'll see.
Sherman Oaks does seem like the hot spot.
It's the hot spot.
Yeah.
A lot of our friends have moved to Sherman Oaks.
Yeah. I mean, it seems great. Except
I like the idea that they're all moving to the same general vicinity.
Yes. I like neighborhood friends, but friends that you already knew before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I like, I guess our podcast is about making friends, but I don't like, you're going to be making friends in your 40s. Good friends, theoretically.
Yeah. But just as importantly, this podcast is about maintaining friendships. So I've already kind of like, okay, so how do I intentionally continue to tweak my current relationships in light of the fact that my priority is now my son?
Right. I mean, one thing I will say from the single friendless people, oftentimes the parents assume we don't want to be involved. That's not always the case.
I think that's fair. And talk more about that, because I think maybe our audience needs to hear that.
Some of it is with birthday parties. And by the way, it's kind of a dealer's choice. Sometimes I'm like, wait, why am I being invited to this 1-year-old birthday party? But sometimes I'm like, oh, great, that sounds like fun. It depends sort of what it is, how I'm feeling.
So you think that like we should, going forward, and parents should invite the single friends to the kids' birthdays? And I think most of them do or do not?
By the way, single, kid, it could also be kidless.
Right.
I think it definitely depends. I know I have some friends who are like, I don't like kids. I don't want to be at a birthday party.
Because I feel like I've been getting invited to a lot of them before we had kids. And I was always like, am I even supposed to go? Is this even like a legit invite? Is this like, because then like sometimes I feel like our friends would be like, you don't want to come. It's just a bunch of parents. That's what I always would hear.
Right.
You don't want to come. It's just a bunch of our parent friends from school. So maybe it's like one of those things of like, then this party, like maybe they don't want you to come because it's like, then they have to entertain you and they're talking to their parent people, or do they want you to come? Like, I don't know how to navigate
My
that.
take is that usually they're more worried about you, the invitee.
Right.
I don't think they're worried about entertaining.
Right.
They're like, do we want to bring Karo, Matt, and Jess here? It's going to be a bunch of screaming kids.
Right.
Now, it depends what the party is. If there's also booze.
Right. So my neighbor would always invite me. He's got 3 kids. He would always invite us before we had kids. He's like, well, he would say, if you want to see what your future looks like, which I love as a line of like, I'm inviting you to this thing because this is your future.
Yeah.
But he would also be like, we've got food, you know, you can pop in if you want.
Yeah.
He would always say like, pop in, because like, he was very clear of like, you're not going to want to stay at this thing a long time.
I think it was me. If I was the parent, I think the move is always err on the side of inviting. I mean, this is for your good friends. And then just make sure they realize they're not obligated and what the party's going to be. Give them context.
Right.
That's it.
And I don't think, I mean, that's the other question. Do you ever feel like you're obligated to go to a kid's birthday? Or you do? Like, you're going to be obligated to every one of Brenner's parties. Every single one.
I will say sometimes, listen, we talk about your friends are not mind readers. Our friend Lindsay invited me to her, I think it was her daughter's 3-year birthday party. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of like, okay, she's got a lot of parent friends, a lot of kids. I don't know if this one is for me. And then she's like, no, like you're expected to come, which was, that was great. By the way, one of probably the best party I went to in 2023.
Wow.
She goes, oh, you've been to her, like, you know, her in-laws place, great place, all out, like food was.
It's a choice venue.
Choice. This was one of the best parties I've been to.
This is Shangri-La.
But she told me, I honestly might not have gone because I was like, oh, it's like a kid's thing.
I like that. Yeah. I respect her saying, you're expected.
But I didn't know.
That's why we're doing this, right? So for our podcast listeners, I think we always say communication is key. So if you're a parent and you're inviting people who are not parents, well, first of all, decide whether you want to invite them. And it sounds like from Karo's perspective, a lot of the non-parents would rather be invited.
Err on the side.
But also, while you're inviting, set the expectation, right? So if you say, hey, you don't feel obligated to come, or we would really like you to come. An invitation doesn't necessarily even indicate that you're welcome, which is a weird thing. You would think the invitation in and of itself is the indication of we want you to come.
Also, context of what the party is going to be. Who's going to be there?
Right.
Fireball Adam. He just had a 1-year-old birthday party at a brewery.
Yeah.
So that was like, okay. That was great.
Yes, clearly venue, right?
Yeah.
If it's in your backyard and it's all parent friends, your kidless or single friends are just going to feel like, oh, I'm not sure this is for me.
Yeah.
So I think I already made a mistake not following our advice of trying to make my own dad friends versus just letting Jesse let me be friends with some random dads.
So you're saying you wanted to be more intentional.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah. So this guy that I met ultimately at the park who ran away from the first time.
The Phantom.
Yeah. The second Phantom of the Opera. Second time I met him, I really liked him.
Yeah.
Didn't exchange numbers. The wives have been texting.
Got it. Okay.
We got along. We talked about sports.
Well, that's easily resolved.
I know, but I was kind of surprised and disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
That in the moment, I even didn't go, hey, well, I should just get your number. So we're not like relying on the wives to make plans.
I mean, you also have to give yourself you're new at this.
Yeah, I'm new. At this. But it's weird. I was like, oh my God, I just like blew it.
Well, you already knew the wives were texting, so it probably wasn't top of mind.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be on them.
Right.
But I also want to make my own dad friends.
I mean, Jess is got pretty good taste, but I would be concerned. I mean, your whole relationship, you're becoming friends with people your wife likes.
Right. So I want to make some of my own.
Right.
So if there are any cool dads out there, hit me up.
Yeah.
But your baby has to be born exactly.
For those not watching on YouTube, Matt made the symbol for phone call that only, I think, Gen X still makes. You ever see those videos?
Karo, peace, bro. Or should I say, you can go.
Yeah.
You have the right of way.
You ever see those videos where they're asking like a 13-year-old, like, how do you say phone call?
How do they say it?
And holding an iPhone up to there. And how do you say take a picture? How do you say take a picture? Miming. Yeah, you go like this. They do like this.
Oh, they go like this.
Making like a selfie.
Oh, so how do you do a picture? It's not this. It's
yeah. I mean, for our listeners,
and there's no
click.
There's no click.
Should we take a listener question?
Yeah.
Asking for a friend.
All right, guys, this is Asking for a Friend. Send us your listener questions, your ethical dilemmas, your friendship problems, and we will try to solve them on the pod. You can find us on Instagram, Man of the Year Podcast, or you can message me or Matt individually, and we will anonymize it, so you don't have to worry about blowing anybody's spot up. Matt, what do we have?
So this was a couple friend question, which I thought was pretty relevant for this episode. So this person asked, we have a long time couple friend.
Yeah.
But their kids just started school and are going to another school, and they're making a lot of friends there, and they're making all these plans, and we're seeing them doing all this fun stuff and pictures, and we feel like, why aren't we getting invited to these things? And they kind of just are like, oh, it's a school thing, but it doesn't feel like it's just a school thing. So should we confront them about it, or should we just let it go? Or is there anything that we can do?
The school things, and now we're both sort of this is outside of our expertise.
Right.
Because when we were at Fireball Adams' kid's birthday, there were a couple couples that were going to, what do they call them? Galas?
Galas.
Galas or galas?
I say gala.
I think it's
gala.
Gala, but we'll have
I think
to
my poor upbringing makes me want to say
gala.
Gala. I think it's gala.
First of all, do we ever give money to our public school?
Taxes. That's the money.
Yeah, but I think
Karo. It's called tax.
But one of the couple
property taxes.
One of the couple was going to a public school. One of the couples going to a private school. They're both going to galas. Are they not? The school's not funded?
Oh, the public schools have galas?
Yeah.
You know what we had? Bake sale.
No, but don't you
know what our gala was? A bake sale.
No, but don't you think it's weirder that the private school also has galas? They already have
No,
money.
the private schools, that's how they raise all their money. That's how my brother ended up with the big auction. So we ended up with the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah. So this listener thinks that basically their friends are kind of giving them the 86 and using, it's a school thing as an excuse.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, we don't know because we don't have the full context, but what do you think in general about finding out about a party afterwards online and then, being told like, oh, this wasn't for you? It's kind of what we were talking about of like, should you be invited to the birthday thing?
But also, were the other people there school people? If they're all school people.
Right. If they are all school people, it's a school thing, right? But if it's happening multiple times, right? If it's like, oh, I'm not getting invited out anymore.
Are non-school people not allowed to go to school things?
No, they're not.
What does he say in School Ties? Come out. What does he say?
In School Ties?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's Brendan Fraser screaming at the window.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Wow, I did a fucking
movie
thing.
Obviously, if it's a school-sponsored event, you have no business being upset.
Right.
But if it's not a school-sanctioned thing, if it's like, oh, a bunch of parents from our school are getting together at my house.
Right.
Well, I think that's really where we're getting into. This is a valid question for our listeners, for our fans, for our community to go, how do we establish boundaries of, not making our friends who are not in our school friend circle feel bad about, hey, there's a party in my backyard and my good friend isn't invited. What's going on? I think that's really what this question boils down to.
Well, if it literally is a school thing and no one's doing anything untoward,
okay,
then the party thrower may want to say something to the
beforehand. Maybe that's the best thing to do.
I don't know, but then every time, I don't know, is that
overly sensitive? Right. Is that micromanaging? But like, if you are close with somebody.
Let me put it this way. If you had a party in your backyard for your preschool, but it was kind of a big party, would you tell me about it?
Maybe, right? Because if it looks like, I'm saying, if to the public facing eye, it looks like I just had a party and didn't invite you, that would make people feel bad, right? I think that's really what this question boils down to, right? If you are having a party that's going to look like just any old party at your house and one of your good friends doesn't get invited, and then afterwards you're like, oh, it was a school thing, and then that happens like 3 more times, you may start feeling bad.
I'm not sure about this one.
Yeah, I mean, you have every right to have different groups of friends for sure, and you have every right to entertain your school friends.
It's weird to proactively tell someone you're not invited to something. Although twice in my life I've been told I've not been invited to a wedding.
Okay, and how did you feel about that? It's kind of like irrelevant. It's kind of irrelevant.
I respected it.
You respect
listen, have limited, and I was definitely a bubble person.
Right.
I'm definitely still friends with at least one of those people. Good friends.
So I think on the one hand, there is a level of respect to saying to your good friends, like, listen, I've got some parties coming up, just so you know, they're like school things.
Right.
I'm going to be having people at the house.
Yeah.
But maybe you should also, in the context of doing that, if you're going to go that route, if you have a friend who's a little sensitive about it, like, but I want to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you enough.
That's true.
And I have a lot of school stuff going on. You know how it is.
Right.
But I value your friendship. I think it's like maybe just about communicating that you value this other person's friendship too.
I mean, you should make some plans that are not school things only.
Right. Because I do think that's a trap that a lot of parents fall into with their friendships.
Parent trap.
The parent trap.
Yeah, that's what it was about.
That's what it was about.
Yeah.
These parents who got all these new school friends, and then their non-school friends who were much cooler got ditched.
Yeah.
So I was saying, I think if you communicate to your friends and make the time for them, I think that's the other part. It's like, hey, let's look at this holistically. Have you actually, decided that your school friends are the people that you want to spend your time with? Because that's another thing. Like maybe that's friendship ship. Maybe I'm going to ditch you. Maybe this wasn't a listener question. It was me telling you I'm ditching you.
The listener was you.
You. And I'm going to trade you in for dad friends, which I've said I was going to do.
Listen, it's been a good run.
Been a great run.
And how do you feel about the invite, the person who was snubbed, for lack of a better word, saying something to the person like, hey, like, what's up?
I think in friendship, as we've always said, it's better to communicate, even if you are sensitive.
Yeah.
Maybe you are being overly sensitive, but that's okay to communicate that. I think it's better to be overly sensitive and communicate rather than just bottling it up,
right?
Having a passive aggressive thing linger.
The solution is, if you are the party thrower, be mindful of people you're not inviting. Either make sure you're making plans with them independently, or proactively say something like, hey, I've been doing a lot of stuff at the house. It's just been school people. It's better to over communicate than under communicate.
Correct.
Asking for a friend.
Guys, that was Asking for a Friend. If you have any questions, send them in and we'll answer them on the pod. So Matt, we're going to do a new segment. We've already sort of been doing it, follow-ups and fact checks with producer Theo. But can we beat that? Can we beat that title as a segment?
Follow-ups and fact checks? Yeah, we got to do better than follow-ups and fact checks.
Okay, jeez.
Yeah.
So
right,
angry.
Yeah, no.
I mean, something that like rhymes, like Theo's a hard name. Because his name is Thelonious.
Right.
Erroneous
like,
with
Thelonious. Erroneous with Thelonious.
Sometimes I just think we're geniuses.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
What do you have for
All right,
us?
Erroneous with Thelonious. What do we got?
So the American pronunciation is gala. The British is more gala. But I've also seen it pronounced American gala at times.
So what about gala?
Wow.
Is that just my trash version?
I thought gala.
Gala is the American pronunciation.
No.
What'd you just say?
What's the
Gala.
first thing you said?
Gala.
You said, no.
Gala.
I thought gala.
It's gala for Americans.
Not gala.
No, but you're saying gala.
Gala,
saying
gala, and gala.
What am I saying? Gala.
There's gala, and gala.
Galuh. Gala.
Okay. That's
is the American.
Okay.
No.
The British add an extra A, so it's gala.
Okay.
And
Gala.
I did see one video say Americans sometimes pronounce it
Gala.
gala.
That's just some upper crust shit.
No,
I've never heard
that's
that.
people who think they're being upper crust and they don't even know that it's not British.
Got it.
Yeah, that's the people who just watch like
Downton
Abbey and get
yeah.
it wrong.
All right, well, that was our first edition of Erroneous with Thelonious.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
So, Matt, what did we learn today?
For me, I learned that sometimes people send you a note saying, hey, I know a person that's going to be where you are. Maybe you should look them up. Maybe this could be helpful for you. And frequently that turns out to be hugely helpful. So our friend Jeff, just sent a note saying, hey, Robin's going to be in the hospital if you want to look her up. Like, I didn't think that was going to be a critical thing, but it ended up being super critical for Jessie to even get through this. I was going to say, I don't even know that she would have done the C-section if Robin wasn't there.
Should Jeff have reached out to Robin?
What do you mean?
Like you had to reach out to her?
No. Jeff gave me her info. I asked him to give me her info.
Okay. But instead, he could have texted her and be like, hey, Matt.
No, I'm sure he did.
Oh, okay,
I'm sure he did. But
Got
I said, please give me her info.
Double opt-in. He talked to Robin.
Yeah, it was amazing. But I just think for our podcast, it's so important to remember that if you have a way that you can help somebody, you may think it's minor. It may turn out to be so huge for them. Like, you have no idea how grateful we are to Robin for what we went through and her being there. And also to that end, to Jeff for that.
I think I learned as the kidless person in the group, guys, don't forget about us. You can invite us to the kid's birthday party. Just, let us know we're not obligated, or maybe we are obligated. But, you know, the friendless kid, the kidless friend, like we still want to be included.
Friendless kid. That's sad. I hope Brenner isn't friendless.
Listen, you know what friendless kids grow up to be? Kidless friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, Brenner's never going to be a friendless kid. You know why? Because we have a swimming pool.
Yeah, that's true. If you can't make friends, make a pool.
Make a pool. And then you'll have friends.
Yeah. Guys, that's our show. If you are a new father or new mother or a new parent, send us your friend stories or dilemmas or what's been going on with you. Make sure to follow us on socials. Be good to yourself. Be good to your friends.
Love you,
buddy.
buddy.